The blizzard raged outside, a relentless torrent of wind and snow that seemed determined to swallow everything in its path. Inside the car, the air was heavy with tension and fear. My name is Jack, and I found myself trapped in this metal cocoon with a woman named Emily, a stranger I had met only hours before. It had all started so innocently. We were both caught in the chaos of the storm, our cars immobilized by the unyielding snow. With no other option, we sought refuge together in my car, hoping for the blizzard to pass. But the hours stretched on, and the hope of escape began to fade. The car's engine had long since died, and the cold crept into our bones like icy tendrils. Our phones had no signal, leaving us isolated in this frozen purgatory. As the night descended upon us, the darkness outside seemed to mirror the darkness within. The initial camaraderie we shared gave way to a somber realization of our impending doom. Emily and I were strangers, two souls thrown together by the cruel hand of fate, forced to confront our own mortality. In the confined space, the silence was deafening, broken only by the howling of the blizzard and the soft sound of our shivering. Each moment stretched on forever, the walls of the car closing in around us. We knew the truth. We were unlikely to survive until morning. Emily was the first to speak, her voice tinged with fear.
"What do we do now?"
she asked, her eyes pleading for an answer that I did not have. "We wait," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. "Maybe the storm will pass, and someone will come to rescue us." But deep down, I knew the chances of that were slim. The blizzard showed no signs of abating, and with each passing moment, our chances of survival grew bleaker. As the hours dragged on, we spoke little, lost in our own thoughts. Memories of loved ones and regrets flooded my mind, and I wondered if Emily was grappling with the same thoughts. Were there people waiting for her on the other side of this storm? Family and friends who would never know what happened to her? With nothing else to do, we huddled together for warmth, sharing what little body heat we had left. The barrier between us had melted away, and in the face of death, we found solace in each other's presence. Strangers we may have been, but in this frozen moment, we were united by our shared fate. As the night wore on, fatigue and cold began to take their toll. My eyelids grew heavy, and I could feel the grasp of sleep beckoning me into its embrace. But I fought against it, afraid that if I closed my eyes, I would never open them again. Emily, too, was struggling to stay awake. Her breaths were shallow, and her face was pale with exhaustion. I knew that if we succumbed to sleep, it might be our last. "We have to stay awake," I urged, my voice shaking. "We can't let ourselves drift off." But the fight was futile. Sleep overcame us like a tidal wave, pulling us into its depths. In the twilight between wakefulness and slumber, I clung to the hope that we would wake up to a rescue party at the break of dawn. But as the first light of morning filtered through the car windows, reality came crashing down upon me. The storm was still raging, and we were still trapped. I looked over at Emily, her breathing shallow and labored. She was slipping away, and there was nothing I could do to save her. In that moment, I realized that we were both facing the same fate. We were both going to die here, together in this frigid tomb. And oddly, the realization brought a strange sense of peace. With tears in my eyes, I took Emily's hand in mine, holding it tightly as we faced the end together. We spoke little, our words unnecessary in the face of our shared acceptance of what was to come. As the blizzard continued to rage outside, we leaned on each other for support. In the final moments of our lives, we found a fleeting comfort in the presence of another human soul. In the end, the storm claimed us both, and our bodies were found days later, locked in a final embrace. Two strangers united by the cruel whims of fate, finding solace and acceptance in the face of their shared doom.